If you love adventure, this is the hike for you. This hike is permit only, and permits sell out just as quickly as they become available. If you're lucky enough to reserve one, the fiery furnace will blow your mind. This hike is located in Arches National Park. We arrived at the visitor center at 8 a.m. to pick up our permit and watch an orientation video. The ranger then spoke to us about the importance of staying off the desert soil crust. When doing this hike, make sure you always stay on rock and sandy wash. The fiery furnace itself is a total labyrinth of sandstone pillars. There are small arrows throughout the maze that will guide you in the right direction. However, there's so much fun to be had exploring all the dead ends. I highly recommend checking out the dead ends. Just make sure you can retrace your footsteps so you don't get lost. This really is a choose-your-own adventure hike, so make sure you take your time and enjoy it. We're keeping our voices down because this is a quiet area. The natural formations of the rock can kind of amplify the noise, and so we don't want to disturb any other hikers. Right now we're walking through some sandy wash. It is kicking up into my shoes. It's a little harder to walk in, but it's really, really fun. If a solo hike isn't your thing, you can book a ranger-led hike and go with a group instead. Permits are in high demand for the group-led hikes, and children under 5 years old aren't allowed. The ranger-led hike permits cost $16 per person as of 2023, while the self-guided permits cost $10 per person. One of my favorite parts about this hike was the abundance of lizards. I think if you enjoy wildlife on hikes, you'd be pleasantly surprised by how much you would see out here. When planning your hike, I would definitely recommend go early in the morning so you have plenty of time to explore the dead ends. We didn't plan anything else for the day besides this hike, so that way we didn't feel rushed to get through it.
So I crawled down this little crack and there's an arch over here.
This little cave that we're hiking up to is another one of the dead ends. With the sandy ground and the opening up at the top, I could just imagine someone sheltering or even living there hundreds of years ago. The coolest thing about this hike is that it really takes you back in time and you feel so immersed with the land. The way this area opens up and how the sunlight filtered through was so mesmerizing. The beauty of this place is how the sunshine bounces and reflects off the rock. It creates a beautiful orange glow. We climbed into this little slug canyon and we found the coolest thing. There's a window in the side. That's what we climbed up. This is seriously a choose your own adventure kind of hike. So this hike is supposed to take probably 2 hours if you're kind of just going through it quickly. We've been checking out all the dead ends. If you have the time, I recommend check out as many dead ends as possible. We've already seen some like secret windows and some secret arches, and just been able to kind of scramble through some really cool little slot canyons. The plant life that you see when you're in here is absolutely incredible. You know, as someone who just likes plants, it's awesome to see how much life there is, even in the desert. We've seen a lot of animals too, so many lizards, and you can see their little footprints all over the sand dunes. When you're in between these sandstone cliffs, it cools off so much. I was just telling Skylar, I have no idea why it's called the fiery furnace because it feels amazing in here. I think it's May 21st right now. It's about 11 a.m., but it feels so good. If you're considering this hike, but you're unsure about some of these maneuvers or some of this scrambling, do keep in mind this is all dead end stuff, so this isn't part of the main trail. I do think you definitely have to have the ability to squeeze between rocks and be able to climb up and over and under some things. But what Skylar is climbing on right now, that's definitely not part of the main trail. This part, however, that I am walking on is. You should definitely know your own limits and understand what you are and aren't capable of. If you're somebody who does hike regularly, this is super easy if you're physically fit and able. Otherwise, if you're watching this and you're questioning whether or not you can do it, I would probably steer clear and stay on the safe side. Is that your cowboy nap place?
Yeah. Use a rock as a pillow.
This section of the trail and then a small area before this were really the only parts that involved any kind of heights. There wasn't any crazy steep drop-offs or any exposure or anything. I thought it was very doable. It was also really cool to see how far you had come up off the ground and how high you were. So we're finishing up with the fiery furnace hike now. I checked my all trails. It looks like we did just a little over 3 miles and we took about 2.5 hours and we were exploring. We checked out all the dead ends. I highly recommend downloading the All Trails app. At first, the trail is super easy to navigate, but then towards the end, it was a little questionable which way to go. So definitely recommend having that downloaded just so you can kind of double check yourself. Additionally, after you get your permit, you're gonna wanna make sure that someone in your party has that permit attached to their backpack. We didn't have anyone ask us for it, but you're definitely gonna need it. You'll also have a sticker that you put on your car as well. I was so freaked out about this hike because the NPS's website kind of suggested that there was gonna be a lot of crazy heights and there was a lot going on, but it was so fun. I actually have a fear of heights and there was nothing whatsoever that bothered me on this hike. If you're somebody who is in the outdoors regularly, this will be a piece of cake for you. That's all for our fiery furnace hike. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching the video. I hope it was entertaining and somewhat informative. If you have done the hike before, let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.